What's going on, guys? Low production value here today, but we're going to talk about A/B split testing. Okay, so in your Seller Central account, how you can do this on a platform without software, but just on Amazon. And this is massive because if we can get a 2% increase in click-through rate, if we can get a 2% increase in conversion rate, that's massive to be able to rank up above your competitors when it comes to organic rankings. So I preach this all the time that your listing may be 95% of the way there, but what separates you is from 95% to that 99%. So that 4% is the hardest part. And the best way to do that is to split test and use data to see what small increments can get you to that 99%. Because when it comes to beating out your competition, sometimes it's just that 1% you need to get above them, get past them, and dominate your niche. So moving my face around here, that way you guys can see everything on the screen. Again, like I said, low production value. This video coming from a hotel room, so I don't have a lot of options here, but I wanted to make this video to make sure you guys are up to date on everything. So again, A/B split testing. So it's actually called Manage Your Experiments here on Amazon. So how we find this in Seller Central account, if we go to click down here, go down to brands, go to Manage Experiments, you're going to go to a page that looks like this. As you can see the experiments down here. This is your first time using it. You're just gonna have to go to manage experiments, make your first one. It'll be like a whole kind of intro page. Just click through that and you'll get to this page here. One thing you guys need to know before you get started, you do need brand registry to do this. Now, just like I've been preaching, plan on selling a long-term private label product. You should get brand registry. There's so many benefits to this. A/B split testing, A+ content, video ads, Vine program, and so much more. Essentially, you're at a massive disadvantage if you're not brand registered, which I have tons of videos on of how to get that taken care of. First, though, we're going to talk about creating this experiment. So A/B split testing, you can see right here, we have different options: A+ content, bullet points, product images, product description, product title, A+ brand story. So what's going down here is essentially you are telling Amazon here that half the time you want to use this photo or this bullet or this image or this title, and the other half you want to use your original one, right? So you're putting a new asset up against an old asset, splitting the traffic and seeing what performs better. The cool thing here is Amazon will just tell you what performs better. You can see the stats. You could have them change that for you after the experiment's done, or you can do it manually afterwards to look at the data yourself, which they give you the options, which we'll see here very soon. So if I'm going to rank these in hierarchy of what to test first, it's going to go product images. So your first image being the most important, because that's what customers see before they click on your listing, whether you're doing an ad or it's an organic ranking, your first image is the most important. So I recommend testing that one out first. Second is product title. Again, something they see before they even click into your listing. So product title is the second most important to me. Again, we don't want to do more than one experiment at a time on a product. Do one at a time in this reload. Do a second one, whether it's a title or image or whatever it may be. The second one, do one at a time. That way you have only one variable being tested. If you have multiple variables being tested, the data is going to be kind of inconclusive. So you want to make sure you just do one at a time here per product. So continue with my hierarchy here. So it goes hero image, so main image first, product title second, then back to product images. It's the rest of the images. So image 2 through 7, or how many your category allows you to have. Those are the most important next to test on your listing. Now, what's interesting here is that you're going to look at different metrics depending on what you're changing, right? So if you're the hero image, main image, click-through rate is probably going to be more important and the biggest thing changed than anything else when you test this. Same with product title. Yes, you still want to look at conversion rate, which Amazon calls order session percentage. But just know when you're switching things up, depending on what they are, you have kind of different goals and outcomes you're looking at. Yes, conversion rate rules everything, right? So if you see a dip in click-through rate, but your conversion rate goes up by 5 points, you should probably leave that image, but you're not going to likely see that going forward. So you got to know what's kind of going on here. Now, when it comes to the fourth point here, it's either between A+ content and bullet points for me. I would give a slight edge to A+ content, but this is essentially a tie. Why? Because A+ content, yes, very powerful, very graphic, but you have to scroll down for it. Where bullet points are in the top part of the page where someone clicks through, they see that first before even scrolling down. So some would say that's even more important to get them hooked right away. This is why title and images are so important. But the third thing they see is bullet points. Okay, so testing bullet points third here, fourth A+ content here. These two I'm talking about, you really want to see conversion rate go up. Same with product description, that's the least important here because if you have A+ content, you usually don't have a product description. And then A+ brand story is right after A+ content and bullet points to me. So let's run through one of these and I'll show you how it works. So let's start with product title, again, being one of the most important. So you can see all your products here. You can search them up here. You can go to show more ASINs, but I'm going to use this top one here with 19 child ASINs, and we're going to hit select reference ASIN. That's going to take you a page that looks like this. First thing we're going to do here is hit view settings and open up this toggle. So it's pretty important here to make sure you pick a good experiment name of what you're doing. So, test experiment title. So what I'd probably do here is product name, and then I know those are messed up, don't worry. I can't type and talk at the same time. And then we have what we're testing, right? So title AB here. So organize however you see fit, especially if you have a lot of products, you want to be really organized here so you can quickly go into manage experiments and see what's going on. Next down here, we have hypothesis, which is optional. So essentially just write in here, because you'll be able to see it later, what your thinking was. So maybe it was my title was long, so I wanted to test a shorter one, maybe with brand name not in front. Stuff like this, right? So maybe not put maybe here, because you're actually going to do what you're going to do. That way the hypothesis is not up to chance there. Next, duration to significance here, which is recommended, which is what I'm starting with until I kind of figure this out more in detail. But essentially, experiment would automatically end when there's enough data to declare a winner, which Amazon declares, which they do this all the time for their products. So I'm guessing that they kind of know what they're doing here and how much data they need to know before they know which test wins. Next, you have start date, which it makes you go out like a day or two, so just note that. I usually pick the earliest date possible. Set duration, you can do your own time here, but again, we're going to be doing the recommended version. Start my experiment sooner if possible. So essentially, if you put on the 28th, tomorrow's the 27th, and it's ready to start, it will go. Automatically publish the winning version. I don't like doing this at first here. I like to publish manually here just for now until, again, I feel more confident on Amazon running these experiments. So if you read this, you can choose to have Amazon publish the winning version on your behalf. Amazon will only publish the winning version provided there's at least a 66% probability that it performs better. So that's a nice little safety net there. So to me, it doesn't really matter. I just like to have more control. I don't like to give up control. Maybe that's a con there for myself, but I like to kind of do this manually. But if you feel good about 66%, which I would, if I saw 66%, I probably 99% of the time go ahead and publish this experiment to the winner. So you can definitely leave that on. So scrolling down, you can see the ASIN you've selected for this. You can, for all your variations, change the title in one go right here, but I don't like to do that. I like to do one variation at a time or have a slightly different one for per variation. Depends how different your products are too. So there's some cases where you can just change them all and that's totally fine. But for me, I like to start with the highest volume variations first and then trickle it down. Because the higher the volume, the more data you're going to get to declare a winner faster, have more data points to know for sure that experiment actually worked, and that is the better option. So I just start with one or two of my highest volume variations or where we run the most traffic to. Then if I get successful results, I'll trickle that down to the rest of the variations. So if I go down here, hit to select all, I'm going to do this top one right here. Then I'm going to enter a new title here that I want to test out. So again, I was talking about in the hypothesis that I wanted a shorter title. So for the sake of old times, let's use my old dandy product example of a lemon squeezer. So premium stainless steel, if I could spell lemon squeezer, and then let's go extra large handle, and let's try the brand at the end. So by Alta Nova, right? That's my brand case in that scenario. So a lot of times you'll have brand name in the front. So for this scenario, I'm going to try the brand name at the end. Now there's a lot of keywords here, just knowing the lemon squeezer market, that I'm missing out on, like citrus squeezer, lime juicer, lemon juicer. I'm missing out on a lot of those keywords. Now you have to take this into consideration that could hurt you in the rankings a little bit, especially if you're just starting out. But if you have kind of long-term or decent sales ranking already for those keywords, you should be okay to test this out, especially just for a test. You can know what kind of goes on pretty quickly after that. When you have ranking power already, you have a little bit more freedom to leave keywords out because your sales history is backing that up for you rather than just your beginning SEO. So to keep that in consideration, but shorter titles can work better. Again, this is why we test this, right? But no, you might have to give up a few keywords in your title for this. Just know what point you're at, just in the sphere of Amazon before you make this decision. But again, if you're not sure, the data will tell us if we're wrong or right? Because everything is going to show up and we're going to know what's going on here. So we're going to test this title right here. We're going to copy this. We do have to put it up here. We have to put that up here because Amazon won't let us through unless we do that. So we go back up to the top, we'll hit schedule experiment. So now that test is right here. So it's submitted pending content approval. Once that's going, you can view details here. But again, don't mess with anything until the experiment's done. Don't change anything because it needs enough data to know what's working or not. So if you come back and check it in 3 days, micromanage it, you could have skewed data results, right? Where you have just a weird day where no one buys, you just have a low sales day. And so you think the experiment's trash. Well, if you give it more time, you could see that it's actually a winner. You just had a weird couple first days. So give it plenty of time. Don't micromanage these things. Come back when it's completed. Come back when you have enough data before you make your final decisions. If we hit view details here, we'll actually go to the data that we're looking for. So we see units per unique visitor, conversion, units sold from search, sales from search, sample size, units sold over here in graph, total sales, conversion rate. So this is all the data we're looking for to make our decision. And again, Amazon will kind of lead us on the right path here, but ultimately that's why I like to do manual. I want to see this data before any switch is made. So again, guys, I know it sounds like a broken record, but we need to be running these A/B experiments. We need to know how to get our listing from 95% to 99%. And the best way by doing that is testing and using data to really know. Instead of guessing and checking, we're using real data to figure out how do we get from 95, 96, 97, all the way to 99. That way we have our edge on our competitors, and that edge could be enough to rank us from, spot 5 to finally spot 3, spot 2. Again, that little difference is massive when it comes to Amazon's ranking. To convert better than everybody else, to get more traffic, everything like that is massive when it comes to Amazon's rankings. So hopefully this helped you out, guys. Again, sorry about the poor production quality here, but if it helped out, make sure you guys subscribe, keep up to date on everything going on in the Amazon world. And of course, I do have a free Facebook group down below where we give out free guides, talk about things like this, and have a small community there where we can talk amongst each other. Link for that will be down in the description. Otherwise, guys, got any more questions, put them down in the comments below. If I don't get to them, at least I'll read them to make future videos on those topics. That way I kind of know what's going on. Amazon's crazy. Every day I learn something new. It changes so fast. There's a billion different scenarios depending on your product, your field, when you opened your account, how the accounts look different. Like, it's crazy. So every day I learn a little bit something new. I learn about a situation that someone's going through that I've never seen before. And again, that happens so many times, and I've been doing this for so long. I've had my paws on so many Amazon businesses that it just kind of blows my mind that every day I see something that's like, oh, I've never seen that before. That's crazy. So again, your comments will kind of lead me in that direction so I can kind of see what's going on. If I see a common trend, then I know like, ooh, I need to deep dive into that, figure out what's going on, and potentially give you guys a solution. Awesome, guys. That's it. Have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.